Yeah, we're good. Ericzilla here with yet another video. You guys seem to really enjoy the Magatano Orochi one, so I thought why not and do another video. So obviously you guys have seen the thumbnail, you guys see the title of the video, but yeah, so the thing that we're going to be customizing today is going to be in here. So let's get right into this. Alright. Obviously you can see it right there. It's pretty damn big. So yeah, let's get this guy out. Here he is. Let me just adjust the camera here. Alright, here he is. The bootleg Destrudos. For a bootleg, it's a pretty badass bootleg, not gonna lie. As you can see here, it has some articulation here. As you can see, it actually flows pretty nicely, not gonna lie. Look at that. Pretty cool. Pretty nice, actually. So, yeah, without further ado, guys, let's just get right into it. Alright, so starting off from the custom, when it came to the bootleg Destrudo specifically, the plastic itself was actually pretty durable, surprisingly. So what I did was basically hair dried my Destrudos figure here, and basically, as you can see right here, made the plastic more more loose. And basically what I did after that was basically decapitated Destrudos' head. Simply put it like that. And because particularly because I forgot to mention this, was that Destrudos here, this particular custom here is actually a commission, and this person in particular wanted me to have Destrudos' head facing forward rather than that weird like Alexander the Great sort of pose, if that makes any sense, the little glance that he does. Anyway, so yeah, at this point now I'm just like cutting off the pieces of the horns here. I'm basically making the spikes more somewhat larger than they are right here, because I don't know, even I thought that the spikes were a bit too small. So I decided to do this, get some toothpicks here, and basically use those to my advantage. And I did the same. I basically did it to all the spikes here, all except for the back, surprisingly. And I think it worked out alright. I ended up poking holes into the wings as well later on, and the process itself was very was pretty difficult, because at this moment the plastic itself was starting to harden again, so I had to do it really quick. So my wrist was actually starting to get all tiresome and shit, but I pulled through. I still tried to go as much as I can. Obviously the process of putting the toothpicks here was pretty long, so I didn't record too much of the footage here. So obviously when it came to just all that, I basically I started putting some of it off camera, and just simply put that the Destrudos itself turned out pretty well when it came to the stuff right here. Now at this point, as you can see, I'm still putting in the toothpicks here, and yeah, as you can see here at this point, like there's a small little pause right there, because my hand, my hand was cramping up because I kept on poking in. At this point the plastic itself was starting to harden. So yeah, I still managed to pull through. As you can see, I'm still putting in the toothpicks and the spikes here to really get the preparations going. And I think at this point right here, I started poking holes into the wings here, because the wings themselves do not, at least this bootleg of Destrudos, his spikes on his wings are pretty small, like they're stumpy. So I decided to like sort of add some spikes right there. To not very massive spikes because the spikes themselves aren't that huge, but at the same time, spikes, in a way to the point where you can visually see them. You know what I mean? So, yeah, this whole process again, like honestly, my hand, my wrist just cramped when it came to just this custom itself. Anyway, as you can see, I did the same for Destrudos' head right here, as you can see. So, yeah, I thought it turned out okay when it came to crafting all this. Now, at this point, I started using some foil to, put the neck in, obviously, because this was something of like pretty strange process here. As you can see here, I'm just like sort of jamming in the piece right here, while also at the same time just kind of molding it in. And this is something that all just sort of like half of the stuff that when I'm customizing these figures, it all just kind of like flows. Like I don't even plan them out. Like I kind of just like go at it and see if it works out. And obviously, as you can see, it kind of worked out. As you can see, there you go. Destrudos is now facing forward. Not he doesn't have that weird glance that he has before. So, all right, now at this point, I'm using some clay. Now, like another thing too is that I've actually ran out of some clay. So, unfortunately, I had to make do with what I had left. So I had to sort of after this, I probably have to go get some more clay. But yeah, as you can see right here, just molding it all in, pretty much just nothing much else to it. Just trying to mold in the neck of Destrudos to the body. And also another thing too is I forgot to mention off camera, I super glued the toothpicks to the figure, the head to the neck, the foil neck. And so yeah, everything is all pretty much stuck onto there, and now all I had to do is just pretty much do all the rest of that. And yeah, this process this kind of process is the only part that's pretty like easy at the same time it could be kind of difficult because the clay itself that I use, it's still soft, but it's also at a point where it's pretty hard. So I had to like sort of put some moisture onto the clay to make it soften. But it was still a pretty easy thing to do. As you can see right here, now we're getting into the spikes here. The first one here is from Satan Beetle's little spike here. I think that's supposed to be his arm, I think, last time I checked. But yeah, as you can see here, this is me sculpting it in, pretty much putting in the little things here and there. But yeah, I mean, Destrudos, like honestly, when it came to, let me talk to you a bit about the bootleg itself. The bootleg itself is honestly probably the best bootlegs I've ever encountered. Like I can't stress this enough. Like I've said it in the beginning of this video, like this bootleg figure genuinely is probably like a pretty sick interpretation of Destrudos. I mean, even though it's not from Bandai themselves, the bootleg itself is really well done. Even though there are some sculpts here and there, the sculpting on it is pretty bad, but it's not entirely terrible. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. So I honestly do like, if you guys ever do come across this bootleg, I totally recommend it. It's really, really nice. Anyway, as you can see here, I pretty much skipped ahead because I didn't want to bore you guys with with me sculpting in the spikes. But as you can see here, this is the end result of sculpting in the clay onto the figure. Now, as you can see here, the wing, you can still move the wings. I made sure you could still move them. But yeah, it turned out really good. Alright, so now we're gonna get right into the fun part, the painting process. Now, as you can see right here, we are always going to be starting off with the black noir. This is something I've always been I've always done when it comes to customs and all that. I always you know, cover the figure up in black noir paint and or just regular black paint, whatever. You know, it's always been something that I've always done. There are a few other customizers out there that do that, where they cover the entire figure in a certain flat base color, and you know, usually it's really different depending on what kind of figure or statue you're painting or anything like that. You know, like obviously with some people they paint it with like a black or something else, you know. But for me, you know, it's always been, you know, black for me. Or at least for this figure. It might be different down the line. Like maybe I might have to use like a green base or something else. But as far as I know, it's always been a black base paint color for the statue and or figure. So that's usually something that everyone usually goes for. But anyway, as you can see here, when it came to putting in the black paint on the figure, I had to make sure to get every single spot on the figure, and obviously the paint itself, obviously it was one of those types of paint where like you can't really like, you know, put black over it and just like expect it to stay on there. I don't really know how to really explain it. Let's just say I had to put 3 coats of black paint on the Red King color, on the Red King paint, if that makes sense. So yeah, with the other figures and with the other parts of the figure, I had no trouble with that. I still put like 2 coats of it, but the one with the Red King parts of it, I had to put like extra 3 or an extra third sort of paint coat to really make the entire base of the pillar. And obviously, you know, obviously I try to make sure to get every single spot of the figure itself. I normally don't get the under parts of the figure itself, such as like the feet and all that, but I don't know, I ended up doing it under the feet as well, because I might as well. And yeah, as you can see right here, I'm just getting at the legs here, trying to get every single spot. Yeah, the whole process here is it was honestly pretty crazy. Another thing too is that unlike the Metsu Orochi custom that I did, I didn't exactly tear the arms apart, which would have been way easier for me. But seeing as, once again, as I mentioned already in this video, the figure itself it's not like the soft plastic, you know, it's not like the Bandai plastic, it's sort of hard plastic. But yeah, that's pretty much what it is. And as you can see here, we've pretty much covered this whole thing up pretty good. Yeah, honestly, there you go. Destrudos looking black. Anyway, as you can see, I got some reference pictures right here. This is not official, but they're from another customizer that did something similar, where he just dry brushed the entire figure. And so basically I wanted to try that out, and honestly I think it really worked out. Like, I actually genuinely enjoyed how this sort of dry brushing worked out, so I pretty much decided to do that for the figure itself. And as you can see here, you know, I've gotten a mix of grayish, dark gray mixed with purple, and basically got for the arms and for the wings and the legs, for the spiky thighs parts, the Dan Can parts. Anyway, so as you can see right here, you know, I'm just kind of just painting all over it. Now we're just painting the Red King parts right here. The Red King parts were actually pretty like weird, because I don't know, like the paint, like there's at one point where like I put this coat of paint and then, you know, the next coat of paint, and after that it was just so much to do with it. But you know, obviously we were almost at the end point here when it came to just like, you know, painting certain parts of the figure. So as you can see right here, you know, at this point I'm putting in the light gray color, just regular plain gray. I'm dry brushing it on the spikes here to really, you know, obviously you could probably guess where I'm going with this. And as you can see, putting the red all over right there as well. on the tip of the spikes, and then putting them right there. Just a bit of dry brushing. You don't really need to go like, you know, into it. And as you can see right here, I flipped the wings around the body here, and to really just, you know, get into it right here. As you can see, got in each spot right there, and there you go. Just a bit some dry brushing right there. Now for the little small details, of course, we're gonna put in the eyes from Majaba, as you can see, and now we're gonna put in the yellow wire. But yeah, overall, when it came to customizing Destrudos, man, Destrudos was a sort of a pain. Not gonna lie, it was a lot. And yeah, so anyway, guys, enjoy the before and after footage of this figure. Alright, now at this point I'll be discussing my final thoughts on the custom. Not gonna lie, it's kinda half and half of how I feel about this custom. Like, I kinda like how it turned out, but I also kinda didn't like how it turned out. Like, I don't know. Like, when it comes to Destrudos, this was actually my very first when it comes to Destrudos. But like, you know, I was kind of experimenting on things. And you know, I mean, I like how I did the paint job, I guess. Like, I wanted to do it like sort of like a dry brushing sort of deal, so nothing too spectacular with that. But obviously, as you can see right here, a piece of the clay kind of chipped off. It was off camera, or I think it was on camera, but you know, this thing sort of chipped off on me. But yeah, it was kind of unfortunate. But in terms of how I did the custom, in terms of like sculpting it and all that, I think I have it down. So that's pretty much what I got with it. I mean, yeah, this custom, for what it is, I'll probably improve more if I do another custom of Destrudos. But yeah, either way, yeah, finished the very first commission, my very first commission of Destrudos. So yeah, so as you can see, obviously, this bootleg, obviously, it's pretty tall. So I mean, obviously, these are my 6-inch figures right here. This is my Ultraman, Bandai Creations, Godzilla, Final Wars, and as you can see, it is a very big, towering monster figure. So yeah, with all that being said, you know, that's all I really got for this. Hope you guys enjoyed the process of me customizing this figure, and yeah, so overall, guys, leave a like, comment, subscribe for movies like this. I'll see you guys in the next one, and sayonara.